services for the Georgia Department of Administrative Services. And he's been here before and done training, and we're happy he's here to work with us today on emergency preparedness. So we'll just turn it over to you.
Okay, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? A lot of you all remember the emergency preparedness from last year. We're going to do 3 additional topics today that we didn't do last year. So we're going to just scan through this one today because it's more of a review for you. I know we got some new people here. What you call it? CLS folk. Okay. How many CLS folk we got? You go here. Okay, you. Okay, so maybe the first time for you all on this. Let's go ahead and. You got anything?
Yep.
All right. And when we go through this PowerPoint here, basically, if you have some questions that you want to have answered, by all means raise those questions. But like I said, we're just going to skim through it and highlight some things that I think that you may need to know. And from a test standpoint, you will have to answer on the test. It's a true or false test, very simple. But
What's on thing he's sitting way back here, Richard? Huh?
okay, you may not have the PowerPoint or emergency preparedness in your package there, but we'll highlight it on the screen. Anybody got it in your package? I don't think so. Got what? Emergency preparedness here. I think that's missing out of your package. Yeah. We'll just go through it and highlight some things that I think you all probably need to know. As you look up here on the screen here, you know, those are different types of emergencies that we may run into from a natural emergency type thing. Earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, energy utility outages, fire hazards, hazardous material releases, and terrorism, of course, is one biggie now that we have to contend with on a more regular basis. But the main thing I want you all to get out of this particular power, one of the main things, is the difference between watch and warning. What's the difference in a watch and a warning? Temporary. Of course, you pick that together. Okay, a warning would be what now? Been spotted or on radar, right? Okay, and then a watch would be. So what now? Conditions are right. Okay, exactly. So that's the difference. So a tornado watch versus a tornado warning. So if I said if the radio came on or TV came on and said it's a tornado warning, what you gonna do? Take cover because you know something is spotted or radio has said it's in the area, that kind of thing. Okay. Let's see. We talk about, and you all in one of the prime areas here when I say as relates to tornadoes, you all know that coming in from Alabama, all the weather systems usually move over this area here. And so you're more likelihood to have a tornado here in Carrollton versus us in Atlanta. So, so I'm sure y'all know the drill here, basically, what you need to do. And I think last year I mentioned, do you have a system at home that you do, that you know where to go in your house when there's a tornado warning? How many of y'all got a system in place? One over here. Okay. All right, so that maybe something you want to look at when you go back to the house. Okay, where would I go if I had a tornado warning? You know, I'm at home here at the house. Okay, maybe something to think about. Okay. All right. These are definitions of floods and so forth. Flood watch, same thing. The wording, watches, all that. You know, the wording and watches is the same thing here when it relates to flash floods and so forth. Hurricanes, the same thing. Hurricane warning versus hurricane watch. You know, all those good things. Okay. You heard of the difference in tropical depression, tropical storm, and hurricane? You always hear them talking about how it's been downgraded to a tropical storm, you know, a tropical depression, those kind of things. So this basically tells you the definition of those. Captain, will they be able to get these later or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what else I want to point out here in this PowerPoint. Let's talk about biological threats versus chemical threats, nuclear threats. Biological threat, give me an example of a biological threat. What would that be? A biological threat in an environment, induced in an environment.
Anthrax.
Anthrax, okay? That would be a biological threat. Okay. Something in the water, okay? Chemical threat would be what? Toxic gas, gasoline spill, liquid, any of those things will be a chemical. Any type of chemical that's induced into the natural environment will create a chemical threat. And of course, we know what a liquid threat is, right? We haven't had one of those in a while. Okay. So, but the shark man over there in North Korea has been threatened for a while here, so we never know. Okay? So just know the difference in it. And of course, you don't want to come in contact with any of this stuff. Inhale, enter through a cut, scan, eat, biological, chemical. I think a group in Atlanta, Northwest Atlanta last night, had to leave their homes because of gas spill. And it's pretty potent from what I understand. It was up underneath, it got into the sewer and everything. So they had to leave the house. But those kind of things you want to stay away from. So know the difference in those. Reporting an emergency event. You want to hit 99111. I guess you have to dial 9 to get out. 9911.
That magically changed over the weekend. We came in Monday and our phone system works different than it did on the Friday.
What is it doing? What is it doing?
I don't have to dial 9 to get out of my office anymore. She does.
So we can get on one accord, or how we going to happen? You don't know?
I don't know how to get it
Okay.
on one accord. You just got to know how your phone works.
Well, your phone works. Okay. Well, we want to make sure that you know how to get out. That's the main thing. Most people just dial 911 and not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's just staying right there. Okay. So find everybody there. Okay. You all do have the incident command system in place here. So this is the format for incident command. Oh, wait, you don't have it. I couldn't pull it, sorry. You have an incident commander, you have a safety person, information, liaison person, you've got operations plan, logistics, and finance and administration. All those come together to tell you all what you all need to do. Now, let's say you could not get back into this place. Let's say we had a fire or That's a little short man just shoot a bomb over here, this building was destroyed. So that's when your incident command system would come into play.
And they have that in our, what I have now.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
actual.
You all's, yeah, it's in you all's, actually gonna look at that in a minute. In you all's actual emergency plan, disaster response plan. So we'll look at that in a second, but this is what we're talking about, incident command. So if you hear that, again, that terminology, then you know what it means, okay? Training, I want to point this out, medical procedures, part of it, and the training is very important in a situation of emergency and response and preparedness. In the absence of readily accessible medical service, locate, use, or find a person with valid certification of first aid. I'm sure you all got first aid training, is that correct? That's required for you, CPR, yeah, that's required for you. So you all need to jump into play when something happens, okay? So that's what we're saying. And those, I'm just reviewing this, so we did it last year, we got a good bit to go through, so I'm just reviewing some of this stuff. You new people, if you have any questions about any of this, please, by all means, ask. Any questions, anything that's strange to you? Anything? You know it all. You look strange to you? What you say? Go ahead.
I'm not new, I already.
No, no.
I saw you last year.
You saw me last year, I thought you said.
I thought you were asking. I thought
Oh, okay, all right.
It is new.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure.
Watch out, Adrian, it goes to the new way.
I want to make sure. Okay, let's see what we do. Nice. One thing, we want to make sure we keep egress open. You know what egress is and exits, in and out, coming in, entries and exits. Always keep those open. Don't ever block those things so you can get in and out readily. Very important on that, okay? I'm just trying to see, you got the lights, the exit signs and all this stuff. When lights go out, do these come on?
Yeah.
You check those? Okay, good, good. All right. And one thing I want you all to get out of this slide here, and this is a test question. If a fire is in the building, do you run it vertically, upright, or do you go low? Low. Okay, good. You got the answer to that. All right. Definitely. That's the main thing I want y'all to get out from fires. Review the escape route. And Kathy said you all have drills once a month? Once a month. So you all should be thoroughly versed in how to get out of this building. Is that correct? Where's your mustard area, your assembling area? Back here?
Yeah.
The fire's there.
Fire's there. Okay, okay. All right, everybody knows where to go.
Yes.
Okay. You people in the home environment, you all got homes, I guess homes? Do y'all have places you go to assemble outside in case of fire?
There's not individual evacuation plans for each home.
It's not.
No.
So what do y'all do in case of a fire?
The group homes have.
Group home? Okay. So, but the individual home that you're talking about is a little different.
Private home.
Private homes. Oh, private home. Okay, gotcha. Okay, okay. That's good. Okay. That's good. All right. And I'm sure we've taken care of the disabled because you do compliance. And I know you're taking that into account as well, how to get out and ADA accessible, all that good stuff. Okay? All right. Let's see what else I want to point out to you in this PowerPoint. Let me go to the next one. And the last thing I want to mention here is in the home environment, and you start touching base on that a little bit. Always create a household emergency plan at your house in case something happens. We'll make sure that happens. Develop family communication. You know, if something were to happen, you already get apart from each other, like a fire, whatever the case may be. What will y'all do? Just think about those things. They got outside the box, because we never know when something like that may happen. Okay? And that's basically what I want to tell you on that. First aid kits, how many of y'all got first aid kits at the house? Okay, good, good. One thing I taught a class last week over at Employment and Retirement, fire extinguishers. How many of y'all got fire extinguishers at the house? How many of you checked those fire extinguishers lately? Most people have not checked it. That powder gives out. That powder.
She don't count.
What
She's
she-
married to a fireman.
Oh, she meant it. That powder does expire. Okay.
Every time you check your firewall battery.
Yes, so you need to check it. And I understand the fire department, she making a test of this, will feel us or will help you out with those things. So if y'all, you need to do that, check your fire extinguishers. Yeah, I'm guilty of that myself. I got one that hadn't used, and you know, it's outdated, I'm sure. So check it out, definitely. And here in the building, you all check them every month. Do you check them every month?
That comes once a year.
Once a year for the annual, but what about the monthly? Do y'all do visual for the monthly? Okay, just visual. Okay. All righty. Shelter in place. What we mean when we say shelter in place? Go back a little bit. Shelter in place. What we mean when we say shelter in place?
Where we go.
Stay where you are.
Stay where you are.
Don't leave. Okay? So a tornado would be shelter in place, right? A nuclear threat probably be a shelter in place. Don't get out of there, you know, because you go out in the atmosphere, it may be out there. So that's what we're saying, shelter in place. Okay. And you all have protocol for bomb threats?
Yes.
Okay. Keep the person on the phone. Don't run them off the phone. Don't hang up on them. Okay? Yeah. Keep them on the phone. And what you gonna be listening for on the phone?
Noise.
Noises, background noises, tone of voice. Yeah, tone of voice. Give me looking for.
Try to ask questions.
Male or female, asking questions, keep them on and stall them a little bit. And then, of course, you can do dial star 57, trace the call back. Find out where it's coming from. If it's traceable. Okay? Of course, you want to let the authorities know as well. Do not activate the fire alarm. This may trigger the bomb. Listen to instructions on how to evacuate. That's the main thing on this. Okay. Any questions? That's my contact information up there at the bottom. So we're going to go through some other slides as well. Okay? Let's see. Let's talk about managing safety and health management here. Safety and health practices. This is a new one that you all haven't seen. These are elements of safety and health practices that you all do have that one, okay? That we want to look at. Provide strong management advocacy for safety. If you don't have management behind your safety program, guess what? It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I've been doing safety over 25 years. I worked in corporate America for several years. And you can tell the difference in the culture. You go in one of the plants, I was a regional safety manager, my last corporate job, covered 5 states. So different in the management, you can tell when the manager was behind the safety program and when the management was not behind the safety program. That's how the people will react. Okay, so if the manager is behind it, it's going to flow. It's going to flow. Usually it does. Okay? Then of course, who's safety? Safety responsibility is whose responsibility? Other than the management. Everybody's. The individual responsibility. Then of course, we must establish a safety committee. Kathy mentioned something, I get on the safety team here. Talk about safety, make rules. We need to have procedures in place. I mean, your program is not any good, you don't have anything right. So you need to have something in writing. So, so people know what the requirements are, and you can hold them accountable. It's like you're doing training here today, you are accountable for what you hear here today. Bottom line, okay? So you want to have keep off your safety in your orientation, new hire orientation. Make sure safety is a part of that. I work around the state, and a lot of agencies do not have any safety as part of their new hire orientation. None. And that's not good. Okay? You want to conduct initial and annual refresher training like you all are doing the annual training. Implement routine work inspection. Kathy mentioned earlier that you all do inspections around the building, which is very important. You know what's going on in your building. If you got iWatch stations, I don't know what you have, do you have any? iWatch station, you check those jokers every so often. So you won't get a bunch of rust out of it. Be surprised I go to some of the penal facilities, prisons, and I go to the iWatch station, I turn it on, and I get this rusty stuff coming out of it. They had flushed. So you got to check those jokers on a periodic basis. All right, report accidents and do sound investigation. When I say sound investigation, you look for root cause. Why did the accident happen? Number one. And secondly, how can we keep it from recurring? So you want to do root cause, corrective action. So, and then you want to talk about it among your peers. You know, okay, Linda had an accident last week. She did this, so you won't go and have the same accident. Everybody on the same page, okay? So that's what we're saying, make sure it doesn't occur. Provide adequate emergency procedures and exercise drills. We all do a good job of that. And of course, medical and first aid, you all first aid CPR training. Do you have a defibrillator here in the building? Okay, good. Okay, these are some statistics here. Basically says 38 deaths in 1970 to 13 days in 2013. So we've trended in the right direction. Okay, workplace fatalities. So we decrease it now. Look at our highways, we bring that in here, the state of Georgia. We're trending in the wrong direction on the highways, right, fatalities. Did y'all know that? Have you seen the marquee? They put the numbers up there like on a weekly basis sometime, how many people have been killed on the highways here in Georgia. We're trending in the right direction, wrong direction, excuse me. We're going up. Wait, why do you think we're trending in the wrong direction on that? Speed and what? Distractions, cell phone, texting, yes. That's what we're doing. We're doing everything else but driving. So that's why we're trending in the wrong direction. Guess what's happening also? Our car insurances are going up as a result of that. Because we're not paying attention to what we're doing. Okay? Occupational injuries and illness rates have declined by 67% in the workplace we're talking about. And but the U.S. employment has doubled, which is good. So, it's telling us we're doing something right by having some type of training program in the facility. Keeping the message out there. Okay? So right here, safety and health management. Near misses. What's a near miss? What's a near miss?
Stopping just before you hit someone.
Just before you hit someone, or you had an accident, you almost had an accident. And then you caught yourself, but it didn't happen. That's a near miss. So it's good to report those. Why is it important to report those as well? Why it happened, and maybe somebody else had that same near miss, and then we can learn, so maybe we can do something to prevent somebody else from that. So that's why I said we need to report it. And we deal with a lot of pyramids of safety. Okay, so the small stuff happens at the bottom, all the small stuff, the big number down at the bottom. And then what we want to do is take care of the small stuff before it gets to the big one, the fatality or whatever the case may be. So just take care of the small stuff, and then you won't have a big accident. That's our food thought on that. Got a reporting system, have a reporting system in place. Report all accidents immediately between 24 and 48 hours. What's your standard rule here? 24 hours? Okay. That's test person. All right? Conduct a thorough investigation. We just talked about that. Group cause and corrective action. And then retrain. If something is going on and we're seeing a lot of it, or it may be individualized. If that person, you know, is a klutz, and we may want to take time to retrain that person one-on-one so we won't have the same accident again. You'd be surprised. We look at workers' comp claim all across the state every year. You'd be surprised how many people are on there more than one time for the same accident. We call them frequent flyers. Same accident, doing the same thing, you know. But anyway, that's why you may need to train them one-on-one or a group or whatever necessary. Okay? Safety pays, okay? The top benefits of effective workplace safety programs are cited by financial decision makers, percent of respondents. As you look at the pie chart here, if you care about your employees, you talk to them, you go in and do that investigation, and I always say supervisors need to do the accident investigation. So what it says more than one thing. It says, okay, that supervisor cares about him. He's taking the time to do my accident report, and then, you know. And then how do we do an accident? We don't beat them up. You know, I'm like, well, why'd you do that? That was stupid. You may be thinking that, but don't ever call an employee stupid, okay? Just hear them out, because what's going to happen if you start really beating up on them in an investigation, they're going to shut down. Naturally. And keep open-ended communication, open-ended questions, those kind of things. Very important, okay? But you're going to have better morale, you're going to have greater retention. That place over there, they care about their employees. So that kind of thing, that's what you want to, that's the kind of environment you want to foster. Okay? Safety and health management. This basically is the employee's method of preventing injuries and illnesses to their employees. You want to go through and identify hazards if you got hazards in the workplace, control them if you can, and teach employees to do all the above. Here's the cyclic schematic here that we're talking about. Safety and health training, that's very important. Safety and health management programs, again, management is very important in this process. Management commitment and involvement. Want to involve you all in the safety program. Very important, because we want to have hazard prevention and control in place, and work site analysis is very important. Okay? Everybody should be aware of the program. It should be communicated. Management commitment should be communicated. Conduct regular safety and health meetings. You all do that. Involving your employees. Assign responsible and coordinate activities to give you all responsibility to be a part of the process. You have more buy-in that way. Okay? And of course, now, you know, in corporate America, we have a lot of stuff tied into quality control. We say quality control, the bottom line. We do business better over here. We'll save $1 over here. And then, you know, I'm sure he gets into that kind of thing. The gentleman here, isn't he? You all director? Mr. Howard?
What's that?
You get into the bottom line, make sure the bottom line is saving money.
Absolutely.
So all these things, a better way of doing things. Maybe some of you all may have a better way of doing things than you're presently doing. Maybe Cap may be open to that. To say, okay, go to and suggest it again. May save a few dollars. You never know. So that's what I'm saying. All that's important now. Safety does have a role in the whole overall process of the company, the office here. Okay. Self-inspection, that's something that you all can assist maybe helping out. You know what they're looking for when they go around doing inspections. Accidents investigations, you may be able to take a picture or two for somebody. Somebody had an accident, they may go out and take a picture. Be part of the accident investigation process. Okay. Recognize employees, another thing, you know. You want to recognize, maybe have a safety award. 0 accidents. That kind of thing, you know. A lot of places you go in, even the prisons got a marquee out front. that tells how many accidents they had. Even they got a diagram so they tell which department it was in. So it becomes a competitive thing with the different areas of the prison. You know, as they had a whole bunch over there, so we're gonna try to match them. We're not gonna have any either. You know, that kind of. So it's just appears. So it's a lot of competition that can be done in the safety process.
Does the DOS keep data on accidents statewide, like agencies, where you can compare your agency to another similar agency?
Yeah, we do. We do. We do a monthly report that comes out with all the accidents, workers' comp claims, and we maintain that.
Would we have access, or is it?
No, I don't think you ought to ask this because you're not part of CLCP, Comprehensive Loss Control Program. But we can provide you information, you know, with
Like if we're third or fourth or 34th or?
we can tell you that. We can tell you that. We've got those stats, and we send a monthly report, the loss warrant reports out every month to the facilities, and they can see where the accidents are. And we got a metrics sheet that we send out where you fall in your pecking order.
Yeah.
Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah, you do have that. Yeah. Okay. Work analysis. Evaluate your work activities and processes of safety and health hazards. Reevaluate the workplace activities where you can. Processes, so whatever materials that you use, that's what I say, maybe you help Kathy do something better, I don't know, you know, make some suggestions on some safety stuff. Okay? And you all doing inspections. Hazard reporting, you want to report those. Course investigator arcs, and we talked about that. And let's talk a minute about engineering, administrative, personal protective. What would be an administrative control? Just think on top of your head. Administrative control.
Writing policy.
Writing policy, exactly, Mike. All right, writing a policy, procedure, okay? What would be an engineering control? Oh, so you reading directly from the file. Well, give me another. Give me another. Yeah.
Putting in a new part signature somewhere.
Not necessarily. That probably come under policy. You know, we need to have a file. Yeah, structure. You know, anything dealing with structure. You know, maybe we want to put a wall up. That's just, you know. For example, I worked in a plant once as safety manager that had a whole bunch of glues coming down the line. Extrusion plant. Make those rubbers that go around your seal in your car. Okay. We're down in Griffin, Georgia. And the odor of those glues was so powerful. Okay, so what we did, we built a booth around where that glue was being applied on that extrusion. So that's what I'm saying. You do things like that, or you got baffles. If the noise is too great in the area, you'd be able to put baffles around that to kind of drown out the noise. So those would be engineering controls. Anything structured, like he said, would be part of engineering controls. All right, so what would be the last result that we want to do in a situation like that? We got administrative control, we got a procedure, we're engineering it out, and what would be the last thing we want to do?
Execute.
Well, put your personal protective equipment. That's the last thing we want to do. If we get around that by doing the other stuff, you won't have to be in the personal protective equipment. You can imagine working in a plant environment and you have to wear a respirator all day long. You have to be clean shaven to wear the respirator. Had to go through a fit test for a respirator. Had to put safety glasses on in an environment that's maybe dusty. Add some ventilation, right? Engineering it out. So those are the kind of things we want to do before we put you in personal protective equipment. Last pecking order. So I want you to just know the difference in it. I think I may have a test question on that too. Okay, hierarchy, basically that's what we're talking about. And here are the examples I mentioned. Okay. Everybody with me? Know the difference now? Come back next year, y'all know the answer there. All right, moving right along. Of course, you want to eliminate and control your workplace hazards. We talked about that already. And record and analyze occupational injuries. Like he mentioned, you want to know where you are, what's your top 3. That's another thing we do at DOS. We give you your top 3 injury causes of your accidents. And then what we would like for you to do is have some type of training around the top 3 to bring those claims down. If you got a bunch of claims coming through, we want you to bring those down. Okay? Safety health, you want to train Training is very important. You may want to provide specific safe work training to all your employees, and of course, refresher training. Work site analysis, management, safety managers, supervisors, employees, very important in this process. These are some of the tools that you want to use in the process. Your investigation, your checklist, your walkthroughs, your personal knowledge, your future plan. Just don't settle for a particular area of priority, but most at least, if you got more problems going, you're going to start with that one first, and then work yourself back to the least area that has less problems. Okay? This goes into additional steps about making changes, individual step hazards with each step when it goes through. And that's just like a populated one that they did. Look at that, making toast is the example. Take a minute to look at that, making toast. And look at all what's involved in making toast. And that's a hazard assessment, basically, workplace analysis. Okay? Yeah?
I was reading everything, I can't read that.
Can't read that one? You can't read that one. On screen, okay. Making toast, a little fun exercise. So that's what I'm saying, that's what you're gonna do. You gotta consider everything, you know, when you're doing a job site analysis, or job safety analysis, or workplace analysis, you gotta consider everything. What if that could happen? That's what we're saying, that's what that's showing you at. So we're gonna just show you that example. Okay? Okay, I think that's it on that. Any questions about any of that? Okay, you probably said test of two, question of two on the test on that one as well. All right, we're gonna move on. Time we got here, 10 after? All right, and that one, gonna go to identification of unsafe environmental factors and reducing physical risk. What is a hazard? Got a definition of a hazard. Read that for me right here on the screen. You have that in front. Hazard.
Hazard can be defined as an existence of a certain condition which by itself or by interacting with other variables can result in the unwanted effects such as injuries, property damage, or other losses.
Right. Everybody agree with that? Safety management. Read safety management for me, right here.
It's a management of people and opportunities such that safety and health is promoted at the workplace systematically and proactive, continuous planning, performance, and the monitoring and assessment thereof are all aspects of safety management.
Okay. So once we get the safety program in place, do we stop planning? Do we stop having continuous improvement? Or we say, okay, we got it in place now. Good document, looks good, big book. Do we stop there? We have to build on it. That's why I said, if you got an idea that can better something here at the place, then by all means mention to her. Catherine go in and tweak the procedure, whatever the case may be, if she thinks it's a good suggestion. So that's very important. Continuous planning, performance, and monitoring of your assessment, you know, of what's going on as it relates to safety management. What is an unsafe factor? Unsafe factor, features of environmental that could cause harm, including improperly maintained devices, tripping hazards, measures in disrepair, stuff in disrepair, you know, that need to be repaired, failure to maintain your warning system, such as your fire alarms, your warning posters. All these would be part of unsafe environmental factors. Lack of consistent inspection. Today I'm going to do it, next month I may do it, and I may not do it until 2 months down the road. That kind of thing. How you know where you are if you're just doing it sporadic? Implement weekly and monthly inspections. Poor reporting and notation of injuries. You know, we have get accidents reports. When I was in private sector, we used to get the reports from the plants. And a lot of them would say, we would say, what's correct action? And they would say, what caused the accident to happen? They said, well, it just happened. I mean, what can I glean out of that? No, they didn't tell me anything, step by step, what happened. What was the person doing before the accident happened? Maybe preoccupied. I had a fatality while I was there, where a guy was on the phone, some people witnessed it. He was on the phone with a heated conversation, arguing with somebody on the phone. Then he got up on top of the roof, and he fell from the roof. So you may be preoccupied with some other stuff that has nothing to do with work, that may cause you to have an accident. Or you may be rushed. You may have one of these supervisors that stands over you all the time and micromanage you. Okay, get it done, get it done. And then they're all nervous and stuff, and then you go and have an accident. So we need to know all of that. What were you doing before that happened? I mean, what time of day was it? That's very important too. You know, you're rushing to get out of work, you may have an accident. Unfortunately, here in the state, last year we had some maintenance guys up in North Georgia at one of the prisons to get, both of them got calls, so all four of them, got calls at the end of the day. They were trying to rush to get off work, and they all got on one golf cart, two-seater golf cart. One two-seater golf cart, 4 people. All right. So they go into the fence, because you know the maintenance shop is outside. They go inside the prison, you know, to save time, you know, one golf cart. All right, what happened was they had retrofitted the golf cart with a ladder rack on the back of it. Didn't even look at the capacity of the golf cart. Didn't know how many pounds, you know, that golf cart could hold. So what happened was the ladder rack fell down and hit one of them in the head, and he bled out instantly right there on the site. Okay, so you know those kind of things. And they call me and they're like, "Honey, could you come up here and investigate that?" You know. So I had to go up there, of course, and do that. But no consideration. Have you looked at the nameplate, how much this golf cart will hold? No. How many seats? 2 seats. Why 4 people sitting on it? You know, those kind of things. Nobody has to consider any of that. So that's what I'm saying. They rush, number one, rush the end, they're trying to get it done. And then, of course, you know, there's too many people on there, and then they had retrofitted it out also. So that wasn't a pretty investigation at all. But yeah, very important to have all those details in your accident reports. What's a physical risk? Physical risk may include the following in regards to you, your co-workers, clients, and employees. Workplace stress, that's what we're talking about. Workplace stress, both physical and psychological. All those things can preoccupy you. Something that may not even have anything to do with work. When you come to work, you're still thinking about what's going on, and you're not really thinking about work, and then you begin to have an accident. Risk of harm and altercations. You know, some maybe verbal, maybe physical altercations. We have a bunch of physical altercations in the prisons. Okay? Bodily injuries from work. Okay, that may be something that may cause something to have an accident. Yes, sir.
Our most significant injuries have come as a result of slip and fall. And we have such really nice floors that are nice and clean and shiny, but sometimes when you spill a liquid on it, it creates a hazard. You got any ideas on how to reduce slip and fall?
Some locations have gotten some stuff that doesn't, it looks good, but at the same time it has some kind of little grit or some kind of traction that you can put on the floor. I don't know the name of it, but some people have done that. Prison, you go in, you can eat off the floor in the prison. They got real clean floors like this too. But they got some type of cleaner that they use that won't allow, it gives more of a traction on the floor. And if I find out, I'll let you know. But yeah, you can do that. And a lot of people start putting grit, and especially on concrete, some type of grit in the concrete, so you got some traction on the floor.
It's just good old tile floors here.
Yeah, that's true. But you get some type of cleaner that will provide some type of protection from that standpoint. What I was going to say, lost my train of thought. But yeah, I'll check on that to see what I can come up with on what they're using. But you know, that's our #1 cause in the state, fall slips and trips. We have more falls and slips and trips in the state of Georgia among state employees than any other accidents. I got lawyers downtown walking down the court, falling down the sidewalk. Okay? So that's our biggest one. Biggest one. Okay? Tripping hazards, abuse and neglect will be others, criminal actions of others, and environmental factors that contribute to the aforementioned. All this stuff will also be physical risk. You all see that again on test too, so y'all remember that. But you already use your material there to take this test. The purpose of identifying physical risk is to analyze where risk could occur. You want to prevent accidents and hazards, all these things. You want to make sure you got it. You want to document the risk to ensure the analyze and be avoided in the future. And you want to ensure a safe working environment and encourage your coworkers, among yourselves, your peers, to work safely. Okay? Here's again, prevention of physical, and describe the methods in which the procedure is done. You take preventive measures, you want to do that. Training is another thing, and awareness is very important. Signage is very important. Put signs around in locations. Make sure you understand that. So I got a bunch of guys in the prison who slam their hands in the doors. You know, those big doors in the prison. Put a sign up there. Remind them. Watch your hands. Believe me, that will help a whole lot. If you got something to remind you constantly, watch yourself. Okay? You have a duty to take care of yourself, your coworkers, and your employees safely. Report safety issues to your supervisor or your care manager, and of course, we talk about implementing safe practices. Environmental and physical risks are present in our daily routines. Reasonable solutions to minimize these are very important to prevent these accidents. Any questions? This was very quick one. Any questions on any of this stuff? Any questions? Okay, all right. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about your program here as it relates to your disaster response. Each one of y'all should have a copy of it. And I'm going to refer to your actual copy that you got in your hand, but this is, I did these 3 slides here. No, excuse me, that's the wrong one. All right. This is your purpose here. And your program that you got, let me show you what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, right? This document here. If I got that? Okay, this is what I'm referring to. All right. Purpose of the procedure. Read that for me. Mouthful. Read that. Purpose of the procedure. You got it? Yes, sir.
You got it, yeah.
Okay, you got it now. Yes, sir. Now. Go ahead. Do what?
To allow the organization to implement and document concise, pre-established contingency plans during disaster or other emergency to ensure that consumer care continues as smoothly and efficiently as possible.
Okay. All right, now threefold there. Purpose of threefold. Somebody read that for me. Threefold. You see that? Is it, you got that in there? Yeah, threefold. Purpose of the procedure. It ensures, you see that? Read that for me.
It ensures the securing of the predictable behavior by the majority of the staff directly following an emergency situation. It minimizes panic and confusion in the event of an emergency. It establishes a small team of people who can assess damage and make informed decisions about how to handle the immediate situation, while at the same time arranging for experts review with long-term consequences of these events.
Establish a small team, what that would be called, the other name we talked about earlier? The command team. Remember I told you, remember that? Okay, now the command team is in play. So they will determine, you know, what happens to you all as it relates to this building. Okay? Whether you come to work, whether you stay at home, whether you go to another facility. Okay, so next page, where will be your alternate facility? Yes.
The East Carrollton Recreation Building.
Okay. How many of y'all knew that? Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Test question on there about that. Okay. All right. So let's skim through this. And it tells you about definition of disaster, and we just talked about these same things, so we're not going to regurgitate it again. We're just going to let you take a look at that. These will be the things that you all, in the emergency preparedness we talked about already, earthquakes, tornadoes, all of the above. Those will be some of the things that will have interruptions, utility interruptions, all that will fall up on that. Okay? Communication. Command posts will be deployed at that time, all this good stuff. And these are the people that you have on your communication team, on your command posts. Mr. Alberton,
Yes.
Kathy, Michael again, Michael and Kathy again, Michael. So you see who you got. You see who you got to play here. You got phone numbers here. Okay. Primary and intermediary contacts. Everybody with me? On that page, okay? Pre-planning and preparation for disaster. Let's say you got a little time here that you can pre-plan. Let's say, well, we're so far in them. Now, Matthew was something that came pretty far in this time. But let's say it was a hurricane. So you know you got a little time with hurricanes to prepare. Tornadoes, you don't. But let's say you know a pending storm is going to come in this area. Then you got time to plan. So that pre-planning will take place. That. Or if they hear about the little man going to shoot the nuclear thing, you know, Wednesday, then they got time to plan, maybe. Put something in place, okay? Hopefully nothing happens in New York tonight. They talk about stuff in New York now. You know, so those are the kind of things we're talking about. Your evacuation plan, your contingency plans, supplies, and all this good stuff that you may need. It talks about that. Community